hinder you. Don't you let where you've been hinder you. Don't let what they've said hinder you. Don't you let your past hinder you. You're a woman without limits. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. A woman without limits. Yes, you are. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. There's nothing the enemy can do to stop what God has for you. You're a woman without limits. Woman, 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 woman without limits. Na 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 na. Woman without limits. Woman.
I don't know who I came for, but I came to tell you, baby girl, your story is about to change. I said your story is about to change. I don't care how low you've gone. I know your story is about to change.
The next Daughters of Zion meeting will be held on 30th April 2016 at JCC Parklands with Reverend Kathy Kiuna from 1 p.m.
The devil is a liar, so is his mother-in-law. How can you keep quiet when you were sleeping on the ground? Nobody saw you. Now that God has raised you, the devil wants you to shut up. That devil is a liar, so is his mother-in-law. I'm gonna say it from the rooftops.
Daughters of Zion, raising the standard among women.
Hey!
You have cried, I remember you slapping him, telling him, how can you do that? You can't go, wake up. You are really waking him up, like he's got to wake up. So now, when did it come to the realization that it has actually happened?
Well, I think I was in denial, a lot of it, because for me, Reverend Kathy, I actually knew that the man will rise up. Yes, I kept telling myself, this is going to be one of the resurrection, miracles. And even when he was put in the casket, even when I was going to the mortuary to, them pulling, I got a lot of courage. Me, I never used to go to mortuary, never. But this time, because I wanted the man to wake up, I could go in and I could pull that thing and I could kiss him and I could, and I knew he was coming back. So I was in denial. And I woke up during that time, and now we are going, even the time we were taking him to Eldoret and then taking him to Kakamega, I was still in denial. I knew he was not gone. No, I could hold that casket and I could look at him and say, Bishop Ben Bahati, this is going to be a miracle, like faith. And so when we went home now to Kakamega and they are doing their thing, nini, the time that I realized the man is gone was when now they were lowering him. The casket. Because I knew he was coming back up to the last minute. So when I saw him down, then I woke up. I was like, okay, so this is real. I fainted. So immediately after that, I fainted. My daughter Abigail is here. So they are trying to call me back and call me back and call me back. I don't know what they did. But when I now started coming back, then I saw my elder daughter Grace, she's in Daystar, now calling my name and they are crying and they are calling and people surrounding me. So I'm waking up. So I didn't know exactly what was happening at that point. And then I stood up, they gave me some water, and then I sat down. I asked, where are my children? So they came and sat. And I realized now he's gone. This is how life is going to be. So they came and sat next to me. And I remember holding their hands. And I told them, listen, we're gonna pull through this. It is now us. Dad is gone. We have to pull through this. You know, so that was the
strength-
denial.
The strength of a mother.
I'm telling you.
Because
Yes.
a mother will protect her children no matter what.
Exactly.
So you're like, we'll make it.
Yes, I was like, you know, the mother hen. So I'm holding the girls and we are crying and praying. And I told them, whatever happens in this life, we are going to go through it together. Dad is not here. I'm going to be your dad. I'm going to be your mom. And we have to run through it together. And it wasn't easy. So we went through that and we went back home. And that was the beginning of all my pain and my trouble. And it is quite unfortunate that these things happen to women when their husbands die. And I pray that men all over this country and beyond will watch this program. It is so bad to take another woman through this pain just because the husband left them. It began. And actually, it was hard because the people that came against me were the people that I had raised, people that I had fed, people that I had clothed, people that I had loved with all my heart, people that I trusted with all my heart. But immediately, Pastor Kathy, my husband, left. They wanted to take over, you know, and they look at this woman and they, just like Mr. Chomba said, you know, they look at the woman and they, you know, she becomes like an outcast. She becomes like this thing that cannot function just because the man is not there. It is not true. That is the lie of the
From
devil.
the pits of hell.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I believe that even as the man is gone, the woman can still stand up and take care of whatever has been left. And so they fought. And let me tell you,
And they started fighting immediately.
immediately, because, you know, let me tell you, especially one of them that really wanted to take over, during the burial, he stole my husband's bishopric, you know, the gowns. He stole it. He stole it. I tried to ask for it. He stole it. And my kids looked at me and told me, Mom, let it go. Let it go. Don't even ask for it anymore. Let it go. And and they did. Because they wanted to take over, you know, because Bishop Ben Bahati, I mean, Kenya knows him.
Yeah.
You know, so they wanted what he had. They wanted to be Ben. They wanted to be. So they fought me, Pastor Kathy. Let me tell you, it reached a point, I'm still grieving and I'm fighting at the same time. You know, the pain. And that's what I was scared of. You know, I knew if he was there,
He'll
hata kama
protect you.
Yes, hata kama
Yeah.
kuko wheelchair,
Yeah.
I don't have that widow thing.
Right.
You know, and I fought. I'm grieving. I didn't even have time to grieve for long because I'm grieving and I'm fighting at the same time. You know, and they fought and they tarnished my name and they did. Within a very short time, I had gone from having everything back to square one. Back to square one, I'm telling you. The woman that had traveled the world with her husband and gone to vacations and all that, within a short time, I couldn't even afford credit. I couldn't afford...
What are you saying?
I'm telling you, that is how terrible Africa is. And Africa needs to change.
My God.
Africa needs to change.
Yeah.
You know, because let me tell you, I'm not ashamed to say that because like Chomba said, you know, looking at me, a beautiful woman, somebody somewhere will want to take advantage of me. But
Right.
I tell them, come near me and I will kick you so hard you will forget your second name. You know, I'm serious. I'm serious. I don't joke.
Pretty small self.
Yes, this beauty. I tell them, I will kick you and take myself to the police station.
Yes.
You know, because you know what? They take advantage of widows. They think that they need their money, they are vulnerable, they need. Yes, we may need a little comfort now and then, but not from them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not from them.
It's God that gives you the comfort.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's the father to the fatherless and the husband to the widows. You know, and it's been so bad, Pastor Kathy, let me tell you, because even the people, it becomes bad. Africa, we need to change. It becomes bad because immediately you lose your husband, even your so-called friends, they start looking you with that eye. Don't come near. Don't come
You
near.
may steal my husband.
You may steal my husband.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you the truth. Let me give you these
God help
examples.
us.
Yes, let me
That
give you
is so
this
mean.
example, and I'm not ashamed to say this because it's going to help somebody else. My little daughter, who is 11, she has a friend, and they've been friends for a long time. They went to school together. She's 11. And her mom was my best friend. And about 3 months ago, the daughter comes to visit. I didn't even know they talk. You know, nowadays kids have phones.
Oh, yeah.
They talk.
They
I
talk.
didn't know. I didn't know. So the mother was so angry. So, and I was like, okay, there's no way. Utazuiaji watoto kutembeleana. I mean, how can I? So she was so angry. So I left it at that. I didn't even talk about it. A week before I left for Cameroon, that girl again visits. The mother called my neighbor, and she tells my neighbor to give me a message. This was my friend, just to give you a little bit of what widows go through. She calls my neighbor and tells her, tell Mary to leave my daughter alone. She wants to steal my husband. You know, and the neighbor calls me and gives me the message, and I tell my neighbor, no problem, I'm going to deal with this firsthand. You know, that's me. I deal with things like that. So when the father came around 7:30 to pick the daughter, I told him, sir, please come on in, please have a seat. He was actually waiting outside. So I told my girl, go call so-and-so. So he came. And I called the daughter, and I called my daughter, and I called my brother because I needed a witness. And I told him, sir, I've never done this before. I love you. I love your wife. We've been friends for a long time. But from today, I don't want your daughter in my house. And I looked at the girl, and I told her, sweetheart, I love you. I love you with all my heart. But your mom thinks I'm stealing your dad from you. I'm not interested in your dad, sweetheart. The girl starts crying. She starts crying. And I told her, sweetie, when you people are older, 18 years, you'll be able to do your things. But from today, I am so sorry. It pains me. And I looked at that man and I told him, sir, with all due respect, I had to do this.
Sorry, remove your hand from
okay.
the... Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I had to do this, but I have to do it. So this is just an example of what happens. You know, the people that greeted you, they don't want to greet you no more. They don't want to call you. Even when you meet, sometimes they don't want nothing to do with you. It is so bad in Africa, and it needs to stop. It has to stop because, I mean, maybe there are a few that wants other people's husbands, but I think it is stupid to want somebody else's husband, because growing up, Pastor Kathy, my mom used to tell us in my language, kihato kire kigataga mutumia wa mbere kigagwo thutha wa murango gititeagwo. So you can't the broom that sweeps
The first one.
nice one.
yes
Is put behind the door.
To sweep another.
yes
It will
yes
sweep again.
yes, it will sweep again, you know. So yes, so I mean, there are some of us that are very innocent. We're doing our thing. We are, you know, so we are not interested.
In
you
taking
know,
people's husbands.
no, we're not
And so
interested.
here you are grieving.
I'm
You're
telling
in
you.
so much pain.
Yeah.
And this is what the ladies are thinking about you.
Exactly.
That you will take the husband.
That you'll take the husband.
Yeah.
You know, and these are people, not people from out there, people
Friends.
from,
Very close circles.
yes.
So the pain is
Yes.
even more.
Yes, maybe it doesn't happen in Nairobi, but in
Oh,
Eldoret.
believe me, it does. It happens everywhere, honey.
And it is, and it is, let me tell you, and it is so bad. It is so bad because you have to deal with so many things. You have to teach yourself how to be a father and a mother at the same time. And for me, it is different because my husband, we had this big ministry and all that. So I had to look for a way to teach myself how to do these things. You know, I'm telling you, Pastor Kathy, there is a God in heaven.
Yes, there is.
There is. And he gives you strength when you need it. He gives you grace to go through it. Because I remember, you know, I could, it was so bad, I could see people following me when I'm driving. You know, I mean, people, and I could sense there's a way that a woman knows. Several times, and I could drive, turn, you know, just drive straight and go park. There is a Boma Hotel in Eldoret. So, and I could park there, and I could call my brother Mash. He's actually watching right now. Hi, Mash. Yeah, so, and I could call him, and I could call him, and I could tell him, Mash, please take the watchman, and please come wait for me at the road. Several times, and different times, my sons, one of them is here, my driver, Biffon, they could tell me, Mom, you cannot drive. They knew, I mean, like they knew my life was in danger.
Because of losing a husband now, everybody wants your things.
Yes, I'm telling you. Eh?
Do you mean there is real life that happens out there?
There is life.
Because
I'm
this is
telling you.
not even, this is not Afro cinema. We'll be back.
I'm telling you.
This is for real.
Yeah.
It is for real. It is for real. And these guys could come and they could switch me, you know, like scars. You know, if I drive out in one, I don't come back in another. And they make sure I have a driver. I'm not using to having people drive me around.
Yeah.
So they made sure that I have a driver, that I have 24-hour security, that I'm being watched everywhere I go. That's how bad it was. For some time, Reverend Kathy, you know, you tried calling me. I had to switch off my phone because people were calling me numbers that I've never seen before. Writing me messages, bad, terrible, terrible. I'm telling you, it is happening in Africa. It needs to change.
Yes, it has to in the name of
has
Jesus
to change.
Christ.
It has to change.
When somebody is grieving and then this is going on, you don't even know whether now to grieve or to fight.
Yeah.
This is
Exactly. You don't know
ridiculous.
what to do. And I thank God for my daughters, Pastor Kathy. My 3 daughters. I'm telling you, we came and I told them, listen, from today, we begin afresh. So if we used to go out, we have to take time off for some time. We have to, and these girls, they are just,
God sent.
I'm telling you, like Abby could come in my bedroom and crawl in my bed and just start crying and praying and tell me, Mom, we're gonna pull through this. But I was so scared, just like Mr. Chomba said. I was scared that my kids will either turn away from Christianity and look for another religion or hate God. You know, I mean, I was so scared because when they see something like this happen,
In church.
Yeah.
yes, these are not drunkards and
Yeah.
you know, church people.
Yeah.
I was so scared and I kept saying, God, please hold them for me. Please hold them for me. Because what I went through, it is, I don't know how to explain it. You know, because when I start talking about it, I feel this thing all over my body. You know, and that's why many widows suffer immediately after their husbands die. They either lose their mind, they sink into depression, they suffer from ulcers, they have migraines, because of things that they
The
cannot
pressure.
imagine.
Yes.
Too much pressure.
Too much
Balancing.
pressure.
Yeah,
Too
that's
much pressure.
pressure. Yeah.
Yes, and you know you have to balance, you know, all these things. And of course you have to be a mother at the end of the day. You know, so if you don't have, I thank God for people like, you know, Mother that came with me. And, you know, praying, you know, you have to have people that, you know, like
Seriously pray for you.
because you can't pray for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no, you don't have
You don't have strength. Yeah.
You don't have strength. And it is so sad, Pastor Kathy, when you go through something like this and you don't know God, because where do you draw your strength from? You know, where, how do you begin again? How do you do that? But I came to a place where I said, God, this may be happening, but I will be a testimony to another widow out there.
Amen. You know what I was just about to say? And I preached this a few Sundays ago in church. Sometimes what grieves you the most could be what God has called you to heal. Yeah. Sometimes when you go through a situation like this, it's so painful, you don't even know how to overcome it and what to, you know, what to do about it. You keep saying, Africa, we need to change. That could be something that God is going to use you to heal and bring a total healing, especially where the woman is concerned.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so here you are now, Chomba. Society is telling you, style up, man up, you're a man.
Everybody on their own, and God for us all. I tell you, the society, as well, Mrs. Baraza is saying, Mrs. Bahati is saying,
Yeah.
I'm saying Baraza because my mind was remembering my brother-in-law. I need to say thank you to one of my brothers-in-law, the one who married the one who was younger than my sister. That when everybody else were acting up and doing funny things, that brother-in-law, he's called Baraza, he came and slept in my bed for 1 whole week.
Wow.
There are little things that people don't think count.
Yeah.
But having him there, talking to me every day, when I turn, he's like, brother, what do you need? When I wake up, he's like, can I bring you a cup of water? Just that, being there for me, it's more than anything else anyone could have ever given me. That's why that name, Baraza, kept on coming.
Wow.
So I was saying, as Mrs. Bahati is saying, the society have a way of thinking that you all have your faculties together up until you lose a spouse. Then everything leaves your head. That's how the society thinks. Now you can't think on your own, you can't do things on your own. And remember, even before you got married, you are
Fine on your own.
yeah, you are good. You're doing good, and the wife you married was doing good. So it's two full people that came together. So when your wife leaves, then everybody gets concerned that people will take advantage of you. If they didn't take advantage of me when I was single, please, as they say, cut me some slack.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm good. I still have my mind together.
Yeah.
I can do my things together. And I want to say what she said, that the problem with the society that we have got women so low that if I die, my wife cannot handle my business,
Yeah.
or they cannot handle anything I was doing. And that's a tragedy, because women are actually better in intuition. And because when I was doing business, my wife was my core business partner.
Right.
And there are times she would tell me, sweetie, I don't know what, but that guy, don't deal with him on credit. If I go against her,
We have some
I'll lose
insight,
money.
eh?
Yeah.
That is God given.
yeah.
You
So-
just can see someone and decide, no,
Yeah.
that guy,
And
he
you-
didn't even say anything.
Exactly.
It's just
Because
God
I would
given.
like, please.
Yeah.
That is stereotyping.
Yeah.
Why? What's the reason? She tells me, I don't know why, but don't do it. If you do it, you're on your own.
Yeah.
So I tell people, if she had this kind of wisdom, what makes you think that when the husband dies, then
will
she
not
can't
use
handle
the same
issues?
wisdom.
She will.
Yeah.
She will. And actually, I'm working with people that lost their husbands, and even their business are doing much better. But we are living in a society that is so biased against
the woman.
women
Yeah.
that
It's amazing that in the 21st century it's still
It's
going on.
happening.
It's unreal.
And
it's
ma'am,
unbelievable.
it's bad.
the saddest part of this is that women have been encouraged to take it in and don't talk about it. Because there's a network that we formed sometimes back, and we usually go to speak to widows and widowers. And I remember one day I was speaking in a place in Kiambu, and women as old as 75 years, when you tell them, tell us what happened, all of a sudden they start crying. What does that tell you? And it's been 40 years since they were widowed. They are still paining because the society has taught them, bottle it up. I mean, nobody cares to listen to what you have to say. It is very important that you give people a way to breathe, a way to exhale, because these things, when they happen, they cause you a lot of pain. They cause you a lot of pressure inside of you. And if that pressure is not let out, it will haunt you. There are so many people who go to the grave and they go with the tears they needed to have cried like 40 years ago. It's good to allow them to.
What people normally need is a helping hand.
A helping hand.
A hearing ear.
Which is not biased.
Shoulder to cry on. Yeah.
I don't know who I came for, but I came to tell you, baby girl, your story is about to change. I said your story is about to change. I don't care how low you've gone. I know your story is about to change.
The next Daughters of Zion meeting will be held on 30th April 2016 at JCC Parklands with Reverend Kathy Kiuna from 1 p.m.
The devil is a liar, so is his mother-in-law. How can you keep quiet when you were sleeping on the ground? Nobody saw you. Now that God has raised you, the devil wants you to shut up. That devil is a liar, so is his mother-in-law. I'm gonna say it from the rooftops.
Daughters of Zion, raising the standard among women.
Hey!
Before my wife died, the obituary pages of the newspaper are things I could not even touch with my hands. You know, as in I didn't like that. It's like we are in culture, it's like you are inviting bad omen and such things. But when these things happens to you, you realize, today when I look at the obituary, madam, I not only see, I usually tell people, I no longer worry or care about the dead. My mind jumps to the people who are left. Because I'm telling you, as Kikuyu says, Mukuidari daiguagashi gamba, as in them that they are gone.
Dead don't hear anything.
But this guy who are left, the family, the wife and the kids who are left, they need somebody who can hold up, somebody who encourages and who lets them know they still have their mind. Because what really kills people is when you think she cannot handle what the husband was handling. I would rather you tell her, if you need any help, I'll be here.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But when you come in a way to eclipse her and like she can't do it, then it is very bad. And
because you're trying to kill her.
Yes.
You're trying to kill her.
So when the society, what happened to me is that people became so professional, even wanted to run my home. Yeah, and they come with a very subtle way of telling you, you know, you're men, you know, you can't handle things. And true to what, because I have to say, like she said, you have to say some of these things to let them go.
Right.
To date, I really wonder, I cannot trace things that used to belong to my wife in my house, including the innerwears. Please, I usually wonder, where do you take such? Where do you take such? Because I'm not very concerned in the house.
Right.
And people were all over in my house. I cannot tell you who took them. But people took the clothes, people took the innerwear, the shoes, everything. You know the way we feared, if you knew that somebody who used to wear this shirt is dead, you don't even want to touch it. That was my mind. I came to realize, to me, I'm alone in that thought. And that's why I did not take a lot of care. Then I realized her jewelry, everything
was taken.
You
mean not even with your knowledge?
Not with my knowledge. I was more surprised than anybody else, because my mom and everybody used to tell me, we thought you gave them away. You know, I could not. Even the wedding gown had gone.
What?
Yes.
What are you saying?
People, I don't know where you take that to, but
what?
You know, we are a society that has been enculturized that whatever you can grab, just grab.
Just get it.
You know where to take it when you're out there. So you find yourself with a wedding gown. and later call and say, by the way, I took the wedding gown. I wanted to take it for the washing so that it can be kept well. And my mind is telling me, oh, when you realize there's not a place you can take that. So what about the jewelries? Those ones I don't know. People took things, the only things that are there in my home today that belonged to my wife. And here is, it's either it was a skirt suit and the top was too small, so whoever took could only take the skirt, or they're beats, as in they cannot combine. So people come to your house, they rob, they plunder, literally, they take everything.
Oh my
The
God.
plates, the cups, everything.
What?
Yes. You usually wonder, how do people walk out with plates from my home? You came to grieve and you want to put those things.
While you're grieving.
While you're grieving. Nobody cares. Ma'am, the word grieving only exists in the mind of the person that is directly affected. These other people are just there. Some guys will buy bread because they know there will be tea. And they come and come. Yeah.
To come and eat their own bread.
Yes.
With the tea.
Some of the guys who go for the so-called matanga,
Right.
they just want to go to a place to socialize. Some of them have no idea what's happening in there. Because today, if you know somebody who is grieving somewhere, and if you know of a home that has a matanga, go and you'll find this. There are people in the house, there are people in the compound, and there are people outside the compound. So what are the people outside the compound doing? Wamekuja matanga. They are just out of places to go, and they want to go and socialize. You know, and some just want to be seen. Hata mimi nilienda huko. Probably is a neighbor, and they want to be good. So you have these characters, they come and plunder your home. Then these are the characters that want to micromanage your home. They want to tell you, that person that is coming to your home is coming to seduce you.
Seduce you, so don't.
It's very insulting, very, very insulting, because you tell your mind. I had so many options. If I wanted girls, I had so many options. If I want a woman, you don't need to prefect over me to tell me who or who not to take. So give me some credit. You know, I tell people, like the way people say that we people who give in church are foolish.
Yeah.
I tell them we are very educated to look for the money, to make sure that we invest well and make profits.
Yeah.
Immediately,
Yeah.
we become very blind
Very blind.
and very silly.
Yeah.
We take it to church. Please give us some credit, you know. If I was
I
bright
know.
enough to work
To
and get this
it
money,
and even make
trust
profit.
my wisdom to take it to the basket.
Yeah.
You know, it goes like that.
Yeah.
So this person, they come and think, because your wife is no longer there, you cannot think. If anything, people need to talk to you in the way you should go.
Yes.
Around that time, there was this song that Jimmy Gate had sung. It was called Muhadhara.
Yeah.
If my friend Jory was here, I would tell you, my phone had from number 1 Muhadhara to number 8. I used to save numbers as Muhadhara.
Yeah.
Because some people would call me, some lady. Yeah. So, some people would call me in a bid to manage me.
Yeah.
And they would want to tell me that they can guide me into where I need.
Yes.
You know, your babies
Where you
need
need
somebody
to go.
to take care of
Yeah.
them. You too need somebody to take care of you. And because I'm a good person, as in I don't like hurting people, as in I won't tell you off.
Yeah.
So I just listen to what you're saying, and I'm like, thank you. Thank you for that, but I know the final decision starts with me.
Yeah.
So some people would talk to me for probably a month or so, and I remember some would be very candid. I remember a lady who called me and tells me, are you kind of slow or something?
Like, are you not getting it?
Yeah, I'm like, what is it? She said, I'm going to give it to you as it comes. What I mean to say is that I can take care of you, including sexually. Now I come from a deep village
Yeah.
in Kirinyaga, a place called Kangaita. You don't mention the words like sex
Yes.
to a man if you're a woman, if you want to be taken seriously.
And she's just telling you the way
She's
it
telling
is.
me plainly.
Meanwhile, you're grieving.
Meanwhile, that is the last thing in your mind, leave alone your body. And you know everything starts in the mind.
Yes.
Your body is feeling like, you know that malaria feeling?
It's shattered.
Yeah,
It's shattered.
your body cannot, you really cannot hold yourself together.
Yeah. You can't even accommodate such thoughts.
Yeah, I used to
Right.
drink a lot of Red Bulls just to feel like I'm up there, you know. And then there's this somebody who is calling you, and because my business is, it goes with referrals, a lot. Customers refer one another to me. So whatever, if I get a new number, I'll still answer or call back. Only to call, and Leah is a muhadara, so I just write a
You write the name
yeah,
again.
write muhadara. Yeah. Some people start calling you at night, as you say.
Yeah.
Some, when you answer the phone, they don't talk. Nobody talks. It's just there. You say hello, 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 hello. Nobody, and they call at exact the same time, 9:30 in the evening, every day, and that happens for a month. At first, as a man, you don't care, but then when it goes for sometimes, you're like, what could really
What's
be
that?
happening?
Yeah.
So people behave in a way
In a funny way.
that if you have lost your spouse, you are this egg that everybody is trying to take care of.
So it doesn't fall and break.
Yeah, so the way I broke out of that is that one day I was working with my colleague, he's called Kimiti, and he told me something I really loved. Because I was telling him, look at all these women, why do they have to call? They write explicit message on my phone, and why do they have to do this? So my friend told me, Kimiti told me, that you see the way when you wake up in the morning, you call a company and you ask them whether they want some fuel, you're looking out for yourself. Don't hate them. They're looking out for themselves.
Oh,
So, and I'm like, oh, I don't
that
have.
was wise.
Yeah, I don't have to feel them like they really are feeding me, much
Yeah.
as they are.
Yeah.
But that helped me know whoever is calling is just looking out for themselves. And I'll call this company
And
and
they
tell
need
me.
a ring anyway.
Yeah, they need, yeah, they have seen a potential something.
Yeah.
But I want to tell those people who are out there, if you find this man grieving,
Right.
if you're really out to endear yourself to this man,
Yeah.
be subtle. Don't be too explicit
Yeah.
to some of these things. People don't care about those funny things you do. If you dress scantily, this person will not notice. If you do those manner of things, they won't notice.
So cover your body, dress up.
Please do. We actually know what you have. You know, we are all the same. So at the end of the day, treat
Wow.
people who are believed as human beings. The way you would have treated somebody else out there, treat them that way. Because it helps them heal and it brings them actually closer to you. Because if I realize that you treat me as a human being, I want to be around you because you give me courage, you encourage me to do what I do. And like when my mind, whenever I'm around you, I'm like, what does she want? You know, I'm always like, what else does she want? At some point you may want to be very genuine. You actually want a business deal. But you come to me with that business deal and you had tried something before, I'm like, I'm good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So how long has it taken you now to really get better? Because I can't say healed. You're still in that journey. Yeah. How long did it take you? And are you still angry? Are you still fighting?
What I can say, Reverend Kathy, is like it's a process. Healing when your spouse leaves, when you're grieved, when somebody you loved is no longer in your life. It is a process. It is a one day at a time walk. It is never easy. It's been, for me, it's been like 1.5 years. Yeah, like for my brother.
For him, it's been
Seven, almost 8
years,
now.
8 years, 7 years.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
gonna be
but
8 years this
I
year.
have very good girls in Eldoret, so we'll talk. Yes, they are good. They are very good. Yes.
You know?
You never know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's been 1.5 years. So it's been a journey, one day at a time. So, and trusting God begins every day for me. And what I can say is that God has been so good. You know, I am a fighter. You know, coming from the ghetto, of course, you know, losing my husband, fighting my way to where I am today. And I keep telling people, watch this space. The best is yet to come.
Amen.
You know,
That's the way to go.
Because when something else is taken, it doesn't mean you stay there and die there. You wake up, wipe your face, put a little makeup on you, a little lipstick,
You know.
and bounce right back. So, and just like I was in Cameroon, it's the same thing. Widows, I mean, you look at them and they are sad and they are, you know, and one of them asked me, Dr. Bahati, how do you do this? How are you able to walk with your shoulders so high after all you've been through? And I told her this. It is because I know how to stand on a rock that is higher than I.
Amen. Amen.
So I couldn't do it if it were not for God, if it were not for His grace. I could be dead by now, I'm telling you. My doctor had to put me on medication. God bless him, I know he's watching. He had to put me on medication because of everything, right from being in the ICU for 3 months, seeing people die every day, and then here he dies, and then entering into warfare immediately. The devil wanted to take me out, but he was so late.
Hey,
You know,
amen.
he was so late, and even for widows that are watching me today, there is no way you can sit just there and wait for yourself to die.
Because you have children.
You have children.
They are watching you. They need a mother. They need somebody
Exactly.
to take care of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I want to appreciate God, Pastor Kathy, for you, and you know, for a few others. Actually, I say this. I can count people that have been together with me on one hand. One more. And I was surrounded by so many when my husband was here. You know, I could go everywhere. You know, but when he dies, that's when, when he died, that's when I had to wake up and put on a lioness kind of, you know, yes, and make sure that everything is running. And God has been so faithful, Pastor Kathy, and I thank God for my brother Mash. I know he's watching, like I said. He's younger. He's not even married, by the way.
Is he as handsome as you are?
He is.
You need to bring him to Daughters of Zion. We've raised some powerful daughters.
Mash, next time we are coming for Daughters of Zion.
Yes,
Yeah, so because that young man, I could call him and tell him, Mash, I can't. Because, you know, like now for me, being a Bahati, you just can't go calling everybody. You, not only because I am a Bahati, but when you become a widow, you can't call everybody.
Careful.
No, you have to be very careful. You know, so, but I thank God, you know, for people that have prayed for me. Let me tell you this, just before I finish. There are 3 men that came from the US, and we had a meeting. I'm talking about, I'm not ashamed to say this because it is the truth. They've stood with us. They sat me down and told me, Mary Bahati, you have to give it up. You can. There are those people that don't believe that a woman can be, they can
pick up the pieces and move on.
And move on and take care of the church and all that. They told me, you need to give it up. And I looked at them in the face and I told them, listen, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about God. And I told them, take a walk. You know, because you have to do that sometimes. You have to do that sometimes.
Because what do you mean give it up? Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Give it up and do what?
Give it to somebody else. You know, and this is something that you had started.
You've worked together from scratch.
From the scratch.
Then suddenly you give it up and you're not dead?
No.
Really?
That's why I'm saying widows, especially in this nation, they have to arise, put on a lioness kind of face and march forward. If they don't, people will kill them and move on with life.
And lie to God that they died.
As
you say.
And tell God they died.
Exactly.
And take advantage of them.
And one thing that I have realized is that all glory comes from daring to begin again. Yes,
Wow.
yes. You
Wow.
can never have glory if you don't begin again.
Right.
Begin as many times as you can. Even in business, I know that's what happens. When you're widowed, the pain will be there because, Pastor Kathy, it's a struggle every day. Sometimes I'm driving, you know, from wherever going home, and I cry on the road. There was a time I blacked out on the highway, like on the highway. I loved my husband, let me tell you. I blacked out on the highway, and thank God, one of my sons, I don't know where he was going, Assemble is his name, and I'm not able to drive, and I'm there, and I'm bawling, my eyes are red, and he's on a motorbike, and he's like, Mom, and I can't even talk, and then he comes, and I move over, and he drives me home. I mean, it is a struggle, especially losing a spouse,
Who is a friend?
you know, who was a friend. It is a struggle. You know, you pick up the pieces one day at a time, one day at a time. And my mom, I know she's watching right now. Mom, you are my strength. May God bless you and honor you. And apart from all these things, there are some good
Yes,
father-in-laws out there. Because my father-in-law, even if he wasn't rich, but you know, he could call and ask how I'm doing.
Yeah.
Even if all the others deserted me, rejected me, betrayed me, and all that. Once in a while, the man calls.
And it really matters.
You know, and
yeah.
it really matters.
And he encourages you.
And so this program right there,
Right.
right here,
Right.
it is divine, it is godly.
The Lord actually spoke to me. The Lord spoke to me, and He said, you know what, there's widows and widowers that are really, really
Hurting.
going through so much. They're hurting so much, and I want you to do a program on them.
It is
Yeah,
very
so
important.
it was God ordained,
Yeah.
and I believe that even as we talk like this, there's somebody out there that's getting healed.
Exactly.
There's somebody who knows that they shouldn't give up. That there is a God in heaven that
Exactly.
can turn situations around, and that's why I'm very happy that you're pouring out and you're saying the truth of what really takes place. So people ignore you and they
Yeah.
let you really just go
Nobody
through here.
cares.
So there are very few you can count. The ones that really just tell you,
Very
hey,
few.
you can
Very
do
few.
it.
And that's actually
Yeah.
a common denominator to every bereaved person, widow,
Yes.
widower. The
Right.
friends that really sticks closer
Yeah.
are very few.
Are
I
very
noticed
few.
when my father died, it's 3 years now, and he was a very, 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 very good friend of mine. He wasn't just a father.
Yeah.
He was my friend. And then so when he died, I noticed that I was in so much pain, and what I was hearing is you're strong.
Yeah,
You're
yeah, yeah.
strong.
Excited for
Nobody
you.
ever come to where you are. It's always, you're strong. Preach to us.
I mean, you're Pastor Kathy.
Preach today. You know? Yeah, and I'm dying. I am in so much pain. If I explain to you, I mean, I'm exploding on the inside, out of pain. And everybody was just, you're strong. You couldn't hear anybody calling to say, oh, you know, I'm praying for you. Be strong. No,
It's gonna be well.
It's me to pray for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Pray for me.
Yeah.
I'm going through
Right.
this.
And-
It's me. So I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
and I can imagine now a spouse is even
Yeah.
deeper.
It's
Yeah.
deeper.
You know,
It's deeper.
because of that connection, that being one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know who I came for, but I came to tell you, baby girl, your story is about to change. I said your story is about to change. I don't care how low you've gone. I know your story is about to change.
The next Daughters of Zion meeting will be held on 30th April 2016 at JCC Parklands with Reverend Kathy Kiuna from 1 p.m.
The devil is a liar, so is his mother-in-law. How can you keep quiet when you were sleeping on the ground? Nobody saw you. Now that God has raised you, the devil wants you to shut up. That devil is a liar, so is his mother-in-law. I'm gonna say it from the rooftops.
Daughters of Zion, raising the standard among women.
Hey!